Welcome. This is the Central Florida Computer Society and Sarasota Technology User Group, WinSIG, for Sunday, January 14th, 2024. I'm Hewie Polock, your host, and we'll be here for the next hour and a half or so, and we'll be talking about things about Windows. And this is my website. We do have a WinSIG folder, and if you go there, you will see links to all of the things we're going to talk about today, or at least I have scheduled. We may not get to them all. There's 26 items today, and I still have a couple more I added. So, from when I sent out my newsletter, I've actually added a couple as well that we're going to cover first. But you can go to this if we don't get to it, or you want to go back and review any of the items that we talk about. Go to this page and just click on the link, and it'll take you to the article in which we're going to talk about. The other item that I want to mention, and let's see, I've got to find where I've got it socked away here. It's right here. Boy, Zoom just takes the guts right out of the computer. It works fine until I'm on a Zoom meeting. But let me open this. And we'll full screen it. Coming soon. I'm trying not to intermix too much AI and the Windows SIG. And so I am going to, and I do have an AI meeting that's usually on the last Friday of each month. It's been a closed meeting, and I'm opening it up starting this month, but I also have to change it from Friday to Thursday. So it's going to be the last Thursday of the month. And let me bring up my calendar. Come on, calendar, come up. There we go. It's going to be on the 25th and not on the 26th of January, because there's a cybersecurity summit in Tampa that I'm going to, and it's all day on Friday, and I don't want to miss that, but I don't want to miss the meeting. So the AI meeting will be on Thursday at 1 o'clock. There's no signing up for it except by sending me an email. So send an email to hewie@hewie.net. Hewie at hewie.net. Send me an email that you're interested in the AI meeting, and I will put you on the list and keep you informed when it is and give you the link to it. And I'm also adding an AI page to my website, and it's going to be just AI news. And then I'm also going to post some links to AI items that you might want to try, or some of the ones that I've tried. And I'm trying to make a list of all of the ones that are in my bookmarks. And that's turned out to be quite a job. And I might even have to do a video on how I accomplished it, when I accomplish it. I've almost got it, but there's got to be a better way. So AI news will be coming. And the AI, for the most part, I'm keeping out of the Windows SIG, although some of Windows is AI involved. So there'll be some mixture, but I don't want to make this an AI meeting. And so please bear with me on that. And if I cut you short, I may say that this needs to be talked about in an AI meeting, not here. So that's where we are.
What time is that meeting going to start, Huey?
I've got to double check. I believe it's at 1 p.m. Eastern time, but it might be 2 p.m. And when you send me the fact that you want to get on my email list, I will send the information with the exact time. I believe it's from 1 to 2 that I've got it scheduled.
After the month, though, will you go back to Fridays?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's just this month. And then also one other change is next month, February, the Windows SIG, this SIG itself is always on the second Sunday of the month. Well, I've got some obligations that I can't get out of on the second Sunday of the month, next month for February. So it's going to be on the third Sunday of the month. It's going to be on the 18th instead of Super Bowl Sunday. So you can practice your drinking before the game without interfering with the Windows SIG, and it will be the following week. So it will be the 18th at our regular time. The notice, it's already on. If you got the notice for this meeting and it lists when the future meetings are, you'll notice it does say the 18th on that. I've already changed it. So please be aware of that. And I will try to get the newsletter, the Windows SIG newsletter, out early enough to remind you that it will be a different date. And please, if you're not subscribing to the Windows SIG newsletter, it's only once a month. Please subscribe to it. It's free. Just go to hewie.net. There's a blank there. You can type in your email address and you're done with it. And I usually have one article dealing with Windows besides all the information about the CFCS meeting, the STUG meeting, and sometimes the STUG meeting is before I send out the notice. So I try to get next month's meeting, or at least the time of it, in that newsletter. So sometimes you've missed the one for January when I sent that out. It had already been. But next month, Mark Schulman from the CFCS group is going to be talking about Mars and I guess the equipment to get us there and so on. It'll be an interesting meeting for the STUG meeting in the month of February. And with that, let's get started with today's news. And I'll share my screen again. And make sure I do the right one here. Screen one, share. And I can close this out now. I mentioned that. And I can close that out and bring up my. Okay, let's make that a little bit larger. And I'm making it smaller, not bigger. Okay, and the first article is Windows 11 Moment 5 update is reportedly coming next month. So let's take a look at what that's supposed to be. And then I will do the print friendly. So all the other junk is not there and it's in large print. I don't want a gift. Thank you. That's from the website. And here comes print friendly. There we go. Take a second for it to connect. Okay, Windows 11 Moment 5 update is reportedly coming in February. Oh, what do we mean by Moment 5? Well, that's the let's see, after Microsoft released Windows 11 version 23H2 this fall, a smaller Moment 5 update is reportedly coming early next year, this year. This article was written last month. According to Windows Central's Zach Bowden, new Windows 11 features that Microsoft is currently testing with insiders across various channels will be released as part of the Moment 5 update in February 2024. Some of you are part of the Insiders program. Some of you are not. I am not, because I try to be where most people are. I don't want to be ahead of it. I don't want to tell you most of the time what's coming. I want to tell you what's here, or be able to play with it when I tell you that it's here. But in this case, I am going to tell you what's coming. Windows Intelligence in your inbox. Sign up. This is for their newsletter. So anyway, Bowden expects the Moment 5 update for Windows 11 23H2 to be the only moment update for Windows 11 next year until the next annual update, codename Hudson Valley, is released in the fall of 2024. This update, which may or may not be called Windows 12, will reportedly double down on AI features with a new Copilot assistant that could run in the background. In the meantime, here are the new Windows 11 features that are expected next month in Moment 5. And let's take a look at those. Let's make this a little bit bigger. I can go to 130. There we go. So ink everywhere you can type. Users with a PC with a digital pen, and I do not have one, will be able to ink directly into all boxes that accept text input across the operating system. Okay, but changes to inbox apps and Windows search, and that's in the EU only. Users in the EU, the European Union, will be able to uninstall more inbox apps, including Microsoft Edge, not in the US. Widget changes. Windows 11 users will be able to disable the Microsoft Start feed in the widgets panel and also pick up other news providers instead. If you don't use widgets, you probably don't know what we're talking about. I don't use them, but I do know what I'm talking about. Nearby share, obviously with desktops, this is not apropos and is not applicable. But if you have a laptop, the Windows feature that lets users share documents, photos, and more with nearby PCs by using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi will let users pick up a custom name for their PC. Copilot improvements. The new AI assistant is getting an undocked mode, and the app's window will also appear alongside other thumbnails when pressing Alt-Tab. And then Windows 365 improvements. Windows 365 boot will let users log into their Windows 365 cloud PC from Windows 11 login screen using Windows Hello for Business. Windows 365 switch, which makes cloud PCs accessible from task view, will also offer the option to disconnect from cloud PC with this interface. That probably doesn't affect any of us. There might be a few of you that play with some of that stuff. Voice access and narrator improvements. Voice access is getting multiple monitor support and the ability to create custom voice commands. Narrator will also let users use voice access to interact with the operating system. And then Notepad, the text editor, which is now being updated via the Microsoft Store, will get a character count display. So you'll be able to count characters in Notepad. And that'll be in the status bar for selected text. Microsoft will also be adding new Edit with Notepad option in the context menu in File Explorer. So if you're a Windows insider on the Canary, Dev, or Beta channel, you should likely be able to test most of these new features. So that's what's coming next month. And there might be some other things that they add into that. We'll see. Let's go to the next article. So we'll close this one and go to the next. That's just Google. No, that should be another one here. Paul Throt wants to. Well, that's the same page. Okay, this is from Computer World, and we'll put that in print friendly. Now, I said I wasn't going to talk about AI, and here I am talking about AI. Come on, print friendly, come up. So these are Windows AI features that you can use today that are part of Windows. One, artificial intelligence isn't the future of Windows. Windows 11 is already packed with AI features you can try right now. Microsoft has bet everything on generative artificial intelligence, or Gen AI, this year. Not even the shock ouster of OpenAI CEO for the mysterious accusations of dishonesty, followed by his shock return with those accusations being fully explained, has slowed things down. Word is that Microsoft is working on the next generation version of Windows with AI-powered desktop interface. But AI is already here in Windows 11 in a variety of forms. This is just the start, of course. Computers with neural processing units, or NPUs, are hitting the market, and widespread NPUs will make it possible to run AI models directly on consumer hardware. It's also worth noting that these features are often geographically restricted, but most likely those of us in the US and Canada will be able to utilize them, although Microsoft still hasn't made Copilot available in Europe. So if any of you are in Europe, I know we have a couple of people who at least spend part of the year there, you're not going to be able to use it. Let's see, Copilot, the AI assistant. And I'm not going to go through this completely, just kind of go through each of the items quickly. Copilot is the most obvious Gen AI feature on Windows 11, and it's the most significant one. The Copilot sidebar offers access to a GPT-4 based large language model on your desktop, complete with built-in Bing search. You can click on the Copilot icon on your taskbar or press Windows C to open it. And it's like having Bing search or ChatGPT at your beck and call. And then the second one is Paint, co-creator for generating AI art. If you haven't played with Paint in a while, you might want to take a look at the Windows 11 version of Paint. It can now generate AI art for you. If you launch Paint, you'll see a co-creator button in the toolbar for that. The system uses OpenAI's DALL-E 3 model to generate images. It works like asking Copilot to generate images for you, or using Bing's image creator. It also offers style choices like photorealistic and pixel art. So let's go to Paint. And whoops, there it is. I wonder how much this is going to slow down the system because we got all this other stuff open. There we go. And are we there yet? No. You'll see co-creator is right here. So if you click that, you can put in, it says a cat walking in the woods. Well, let's try a dog walking in the woods. And it says you can do realistic. So let's do realistic. And tell it to create. No, it said right here is where I'm supposed to put the style of realistic. Well, maybe it'll still understand what I wanted. Well, there's 3 of them there. Let's take this one, and there we go. Or this one, or this one. So just by putting in a few words, you get a picture right in Microsoft Paint. You don't have to sign up for anything new. You don't have to be doing anything. You can do it from there. Now, there's a couple other things that they have, and I got to remember how to do it here. In Paint, I believe we can do layers. Is it layers? Choose a style. Somewhere you can, you're supposed to be able to take the background out. I don't know whether it's in Paint or it might be in one of the other ones that we're going to talk about down the road. So, edit. Let's see if this, no. All right. I can't off the top of my head if you can do it in Paint or not. So we'll close out Paint. We're not going to save it, but you can see that just using the built-in Paint in Windows, you can create different images that you might be using for something else. I've been using AI to produce when I do Facebook, I don't like to post something on Facebook without a picture. So I create a picture using the topic I'm talking about, and it creates some fantastic pictures. Okay, another thing that where AI is going to be in Windows, and it now supports it, is the snipping tool now supports optical character recognition, or OCR. You can use it to copy text from images, any application on your screen, and paste it elsewhere. To use this, you simply press Windows-Shift-S to open the snipping interface. Draw a rectangle around whatever you want to copy text from, and you'll see a notification saying a screenshot was captured. Click it, and in the snipping tool, the preview window, click Text Actions button. So let's just see if that'll work here with the Windows Shift and S. There we go. And it's up here. And so I want to a rectangle mode, Windows mode. So I think it's rectangle mode, and I want to take learning something new and useful right now. We want to take that. And the snipping tool should come up. Click the text action snipping tool preview. Okay, the preview isn't up yet. I may have too many things going on. It may even be behind something. Let's just do an Alt Tab. No. All right, it should have come up with, oh, wait a minute, here, is this it here? No, that's the picture that we had. All right, well, it should have come up, and then I could take that and then tell it that I wanted to create the text, and then I could copy and paste the text wherever I wanted. So you can play with that. It should work for you. Okay, and then, yeah, background removal in Paint. I just didn't follow the directions. I wasn't sure what to do with it. There it is. Paint can also remove backgrounds from images. First, you have to open the image in Paint. Either right-click on the image in File Explorer and open with Paint, or launch Paint and open the image from within the tool. So while it was open, I could have clicked the link, which I can't show you with my arrow because it highlights the picture, but you can see where their arrow is pointing. That's the remove background. So if you're using a third party to remove the background, you can actually do it from within Paint in your Windows 11. Not sure if it works with Windows 10 or not. And then you can background blur. You can also blur your background in a Windows picture using, let's see, first, you open the Photos app and can blur backgrounds. You'll have to open the image in Photos and either right-click an image file in Explorer or select Open with Photos, and then click the edit image, and then press either Control E or hit the image button at the one it's pointing to there, and that's the black background blur, and it will blur the background and make the people who are up front or whatever item is up front, make it stand out. And that's why you would use that. And video auto compose in Clipchamp. If you're using Clipchamp as a video editor, that's free and it's part of Windows 11. Microsoft's Clipchamp video editor now has AI editing features. To find them, launch Clipchamp from your start menu. Use the create a video with AI. And there's somebody in the waiting room. I'll let in. And the option on the home tab in Clipchamp, and then you can provide videos and photos. Microsoft says AI will find highlights from your videos. Specifically, Microsoft said Clipchamp will use its smart AI model to create and professionally design video automatically. And then Copilot in Edge, or Copilot, if you're using the Windows 11, you'll see it down in the taskbar, and you can open it there. And then Smart App Control. A few people are using it now, but Smart App Control is a new feature in Windows. Windows says it uses AI to predict which apps are safe to download and run on Windows 11. It's not available on most Windows 11 systems, only in new Windows 11 installations. So it's basically a way for Windows to be more aggressive about controlling which applications run on your PC. And then the Windows Studio effects, if you have a NPU, and I said that is a neural processing unit, that would be hardware in your computer. So it would be one of the newer computers. And then Copilot for Microsoft 365, and that's business only. And there's going to be more coming in 2024. And I'll let somebody else in here. So we're going to go ahead and let's see, did we go to the next one? No, that's it. So I want to close this out. And we're going to stop the share. And see if we have any. First of all, let me see that you're all there. And then we'll go, Stephen, you've got your hand up.
Yes, this is all very exciting. I'm very excited about what Microsoft is doing. And I'm sure you don't want to discuss what I'm about to say further, not the time, but you do know about the lawsuit that the New York Times has with Microsoft and OpenAI. And I do wonder if that's going to affect the rollout of all these new AI products, using content that they've not negotiated or paid for is becoming a big problem. Other companies are also going to be suing for the same reason. So
yeah, there's a lot of lawyers are out of work.
That's right. For future discussion, maybe on
yeah, and I don't think it's going to stop Microsoft. I think they'll continue on, and somewhere along the way, they'll come to some kind of an agreement and settle out of court. I think the Times just wants more money than they were being offered.
Absolutely. I mean, they pay for the content, and Microsoft, I'm sure, will be willing to pay for the use of that content.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? As you can see, Microsoft has already started using AI, and for some of you who are kind of avoiding the subject of AI, you're going to want to learn a little bit about what some of the things it can do, and what's the best choice of doing it. And again, the Let's Talk AI session that I'm going to have normally on Fridays, but this month, Thursday, the last one of the month, might be something that you want to be a part of, because I'm not gearing it towards the very advanced. I'm gearing it for, well, here's what it is. Here's what some.
You froze.
Yeah, first I thought it was me that was frozen. Nope, it's Hewie.
Things you can do for it and with it. And it's to
We're frozen, Huey, for about 30 seconds. Oh, well, now he crashed. He did say that the resources were affecting his streaming.
Yeah, he's going to need a supercomputer eventually for these meetings.
I know he's got a pretty powerful NUC.
No more i3.
Even the NUCs can be limited, even if they've got good memory specs and good storage specs.
While we're waiting for him, I'm going to ask a question. I have quite a few Windows 11 computers. None of them have updated from the 22 version up to 23. H2. I've looked at the updating and there's no option there. It doesn't say that there's any way to do it. Is that anyone else having that problem?
There was a delay in Microsoft rolling out to select computers because of some problems they were having. However, you can download the 23H2, put it on a flash drive, see it in Explorer, and you'll see the setup option. Double click that and it will upgrade you to the 23H2. But I have seen it slowly roll out across a number of 11 systems, and I think all of mine have the 23H2 right now.
Okay, I probably do that at least on one and see what it looks like. Thank you.
I have a question about how is using right now I'm using Power Toys, and if I do Windows Shift T, it will optical character read. How is that different?
That feature, Power Toys are made by Microsoft employees on GitHub, owned by Microsoft. And it's kind of like a extracurricular activity outside their normal Microsoft functions. And they created Power Toys. They added text OCR, and much of what they developed got pushed into Snipping Tool and may appear in future pieces of software that Microsoft is probably still working on.
Okay, I had a Zoom issue, as you may have noticed.
Thank you.
And for whatever reason, it goes out completely. I lose connection with you. And then it actually starts back up by itself. I don't do anything. I don't click on anything. And it comes back right to where I was. So not sure why. It's a Zoom issue. And I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM. And I got plenty of hard drive space. And it may have to do with my video. I did have to sacrifice, and I have onboard video instead of a video card. And so I'm thinking about new hardware later on in the year to be able to work around this. So you got to figure that if I'm having issues, other people should be too. And I'm not sure why I am. But I got a lot of things running in the background right now too. So
and you also mentioned you had been looking at the possibility of the browser affecting it. We were talking about looking.
Yeah, I've tried different browsers, and basically I'm not using the browser when I sign into Zoom. It starts me off and gets me to where I want to go, but it's actually using the Zoom app, and I can shut down all the browsers and it doesn't, and I'm still online with Zoom. So it's not anything to do with the browser. So anyway, so hearing that, no other comments or questions, let's go back to the news. And Windows news. Let me remember where I need to go here and share screen. I'll make sure everything's clicked because I lost my setting. Okay. I clicked the wrong thing. Let's try it again.
Huey,
Yeah.
I noticed before you got lost there that your mouth was not in sync with your words. It was like 30 seconds off.
Yeah. And that was
Now it's perfect.
yeah, that was part of the problem.
Okay.
Windows Zoom somehow was malfunctioning. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, let me go ahead and do the make it bigger. This is a newsletter I get. And well, you can't see what I wanted to show you when I do this. I'm going to shut that off. Notice it says generate a shareable post. In other words, they got AI built into their article. They've got an article here, but if I want to post this, I can actually click this and it'll give me the same article in a shareable format. It won't be exactly the same, but if I click that, it actually gives me the article and I can post it on Twitter, post it on LinkedIn, or I can copy it. Let's see, can I copy it? Let's see. There was a way, yeah, right here. I can click copy. And I think it copied it and put it in my, so let's try opening this. We'll open a new, and if I do a Control V, and there is that article in a summary format. So I can reword right from their article. In other words, they're not saying, hey, you can't do this. They're encouraging me to, which I find interesting. And then Microsoft rebrands Edge as an AI browser, and that's what this article is about. And I do want to, that's also something I wanted to mention. So we will bring up the article. But Bing is now going to be called is going to be called Copilot. It's not going to be called Bing anymore. So Microsoft is rebranding it, and that's what this article basically has to say. But I was also impressed with the fact that it's a newsletter that I get, and I can take the article and have it reworded for me and then post it somewhere, and it won't be their writing, it will be AI's. And that's Daily Nuggets, NUGTS. And it's daily.nugget.ai. And I think you can get to it there and then subscribe. But they also have other things in their newsletter, and this is their newsletter. And they talk about some programs that are out there. So it's a newsletter that I get, I believe, every day, but it's news about what's going on in AI. So I don't want to talk about it anymore because this is the Windows SIG. So let's go to the next article. Again, about Microsoft's Copilot, your AI assistant. And it talks about it and shows you what the icon and what it looks like. And so it will say, choose a conversation style, either more creative. I have an a blocker and it doesn't like that. So I am going to just kind of stop that because I can do some things to get rid of that, but I don't want to right now. So anyway, things you can do with Windows Copilot. And let's go ahead and do the in large print. And I don't know if you know or not, but Copilot has an iOS version that you can download and put on your iPad or iPhone. I believe there's a Mac version, and I know there's, of course, an Android version as well. And so you can use Copilot on any of those. And here's the article. You can generate text content. You can get answers from the web. You can create images with DALL-E 3. You can analyze and describe contents of an image. And you can control Windows settings and apps and get coding assistance if you are a coder, which I am not. In other words, write code for websites or for programs. And you can take Windows Copilot for a test drive. In other words, you can use it and play with it. By all means, try it. It doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything. And I think you will find it interesting. Let's go ahead and close this and go to the next item. Okay, this is 5 Windows settings worth changing. So let's see what the PC world thinks that we should change immediately. Now they say you should move the start button to the left corner. You know what? I don't do it, but I've got so many items down there that it's almost to the left side anyway. I don't know if you can see it here or not, but it's down on my bottom, and it's if you can see my mouse, it's at this position on my taskbar because I've got so many things on the taskbar. So having it in the left corner, I don't see an advantage to it. But if it's something that if you moved from Windows 10 and like it over on the left-hand corner, by all means, go ahead and change it. Turn off annoying notifications. Next time it's time to turn off those pop-up notifications, and I have, and so that's why you don't see many of them during my show, is because I don't have the notifications popping up on this machine. I do have it on my iPad, and I do have it on somewhat on my phone, because sometimes there's things there I want reminding of and to know what's coming in. Turn off Microsoft ads. You know what? I don't have a problem with that. If I'm getting them, I don't pay attention to them. But if you are having a problem with it, it tells you in this article how you can turn them off. The next item is change your default browser. I have. My default browser now is Brave. I was using Chrome, and I may try something else. Although now that I'm using Brave, I've added some more bookmarks to it, and they don't show up in Chrome now. So I'd have to go and just add a few items to my Chrome if I want to go back to it, or if I want to go to Edge or something. But I do use a different default browser. I do not use Edge as my default browser. Not that I don't like it. I just like the looks of some of the others and the way they work. Declutter the taskbar, and you can do that. It says Windows 11 nerfed taskbar sucks, and Microsoft stuffs it to, let's see, I lost the sizing here. Stuffs it to the brim with icons and features you probably have no interest in. Oh, so make it easier on the eyes and reclaim some of your space by heading to settings, personalization, taskbar, and deselecting any of the taskbar items that you never use. And I've done that, but I still have a lot of them. And there's probably a couple I could get rid of, but for the most part, they're ones that I use a lot. And so I want them there. And so, but you can turn off some that are on yours that you may not like. And A lot of people like the dark mode. I personally don't like it. And it's not because I don't like the dark mode. When I do a lot of screen captures and show for people, things just don't show up well. It does make it much easier to read. It doesn't have that bright color glaring at me of the white background. I know Bill James likes to have the dark background, and when he's demonstrating something, sometimes it's a little hard for me to see. It might be my eyes, but I don't like presentations done in the dark mode only because I can't see it as well. You may have different opinions on it. That's just mine. And Bill, I didn't mean to bring you to
No
attention.
problem. No problem.
I know Judy gives you a hard time about it too. So that's that item. Simple tips to speed up your Windows and make your Windows 11 or Windows 10 PC run faster without compromising its interface or functionality. Well, let's take a look at it. These are 12 simple tips. Are we doing on time? We're good. Okay, let's again. Guess I can't make that bigger. Okay, as PC hardware continues to speed up, so does the software, and the Windows operating system is no exception. This is especially true of startup time. Once you're up and running, however, there are other performance factors to consider. Even the most current version of Windows isn't immune to slowdowns, as you can tell from my machine, and not everyone is ready to upgrade from Windows 10 to 11. Most of these tips are for speeding up Windows work just as well, no matter which versions you're running. So let's jump down. Uninstall crapware. When you buy a new computer, they get paid to put a lot of software on there. Sometimes it's software that's test software. That you get 30 days or 60 days free, and then you have to pay for it. And if you're not going to use it, you're better off uninstalling it before you even activate it and install it when you get the computer. But if you haven't, and you've got a lot of software that was on there, you don't need it, uninstall it. If you're not sure, don't, because you don't want to uninstall a part of Windows that needs to be there. These are usually programs such as Norton or McAfee's antivirus, or other programs that you may not need or ever use. Okay, so that's the first one. Second is limit the startup processes. So as mentioned, a lot of programs install side processes that run every time you start your PC. And some of them are not things you need running on your system all the time. And I've gone in and done that on mine, where you go into, with earlier versions, you had to run the msconfig utility from the command prompt. You can still do that, but you may want to, in order to prevent auto running services as well as programs. But the newer versions of Windows give you an easier way to limit programs that run at startup from the updated Task Manager. So by using Task Manager, you start Task Manager and then switch to the Startup tab. So let's down here and open up Task Manager. Hopefully it won't take forever to load. There's various ways you can get into Task Manager. One is Control Escape Exit. But here we are, we're in Task Manager. And you'll see that there are various tabs that are alongside now, not at the top. And you go to Startup Apps. Come on. There we go. So these are the startup tabs or startup items. And if it says enable, that means it runs when I start Windows. And if I've disabled any of them, it will say disable. So like DuckDuckGo was doing a startup boost and I disabled it. iTunes Helper, I didn't need, I disabled it. Skype, I don't use it, so I disabled it. It doesn't need to be running in the background. If you look at any of these and you don't know what they are, for the most part, leave them alone or try to figure out what they are. You'll notice that almost everything here is either something you can't tell what it is, or it's part of Windows. And I run Google Drives. I like to have that running in the background. And pCloud is another cloud program. Thing is something that I need, that is some hardware that I have set up that I want. And OneDrive I want enabled. And everything.exe, when I run everything, it automatically looks at my entire drive. And so when I click it, it's immediate and everything is there. Stream Deck, not Steam, but Stream Deck is some equipment that I have, and it's software. I use it right from the time I boot up. Snagit I have as a clickable link on my desktop to be able to do my screen captures and so on. So all the things that I don't have extra things. I've turned all things off that I don't use or don't need to have. DuckDuckGo, as I said, some of the ones you see, let's see, OmniPage, I don't need running something in the background, or my printer helper, or Elements. I run Photoshop Elements. I don't need something running in the background while I'm not using it, and so on. So I've disabled those. So you might want to go into your taskbar, go to startup items and disable items. But again, I warn you, if you don't know what it is, don't disable it, because it may mean you can't run Windows and you can't go in and enable it again without figuring out some way to get into your system. So, or you may never. So please don't do that. Okay, add more RAM. Well, I'm at my max. I'm at 64 gigabytes of RAM in this machine. But if you've got 4 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, you might want to consider going to 16 or 32 to make your system run faster. It may not be able to be done. If you have a laptop, there may not be a way to add more RAM. And let's see, install SSD startup drive. Same thing. If you got if you got a mechanical hard drive, the disks, the spinning disks, you might want to have an SSD as your C drive, your startup drive. And again, your computer's got to be able to, number one, you need to be able to install it in your computer. And number two, there needs to be a way to do that. And not all computers have that. Check for viruses and spyware. When my system is really bogged down, a lot of times I'll go in, I'll run Malwarebytes, and I'll run the antivirus that I use and make sure that I don't have anything that's slowing down my system. Change the power mode for best. So that would be in your laptops. You might want to change the power mode. And then run some troubleshooters. And it does talk about some that you can use. And 9, change the appearance in the performance options. Changing the appearance and the performance options might help speed up an older PC. You can easily get to this setting in either Windows 10 or Windows 11 by typing adjust appearance in the start menu search box. And in the dialog, use the radio button at the top labeled Adjust for the best performance, or select which eye candy feature you can live without from the long list of checked boxes below those choices. If you choose the overall best performance button, you'll lose all the visual effects. And for example, you won't see contents of a window while you're dragging it to move it, but rather just a rectangle representing the window's edges. Keeping the effects that you enjoy checked in the dialog box is probably a better way to go, but you can also get this tool from the Settings app and searching for maintenance or performance. And then you can turn off search indexing, especially for lower powered PCs. But for the most part, I leave it on, but I use everything instead of using the built-in Windows search. And then turn off tips and notifications, and it tells you how to do that. And then if you're a gamer, use the game mode and more. And that's all of the tips and tricks. So let's get out of that. We'll close this one out. And I'm going to stop the share and see if there's any comments or questions. And check and see if you're awake. Any comments, questions? Or am I putting you all to sleep? Dick. You're muted.
Unmute.
Sorry. Do you use C Cleaner? I found that will also speed up your computer sometimes.
I don't, but I probably should. Everybody else seems to. But it's just not one that I've installed. And I used to use the Clary program similar to it, and I don't even have that on this computer. So yeah, good idea. If you know what you're doing, it's a good thing to use. If you're absolutely lost by using those kind of utilities, you might be able to do some harm if you don't know what you're doing. So I don't recommend it for everybody, but if you feel comfortable using it, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, Clary Utilities is the other one.
Yeah. Any other comments, questions?
Yes,
All
I have
right.
one.
Sure, Stan.
Your synchronization with your speech and your lips is way off again, just for your information.
Well, and I might disappear again. Actually, I'm talking faster than my picture will do. Yeah, I got a lot of things going on in the background. I need something to make this thing run faster. Okay, let's share again. And as a reminder, if any of you came in late, this is the STUG and CFCS Windows SIG. So we're trying to talk mostly about Windows, but there's some other things too. And you should be seeing my screen now. I'm not going to spend time on this. So Microsoft's final patch Tuesday was the end of December, and there is actually a patch since then in January. So if you keep up with the updates, there's been 2 patches, one right at the end of December and then one at the beginning of January.
Hewie, can I ask a question?
Sure, Bill.
There was a comment about a update that occurred last week or so that didn't install properly, and I just answered back. My feeling is that when an update doesn't install properly, rather than go through a lot of hoops and loops to get it fixed, it's just ignored because Microsoft will either withdraw or issue a replacement. And I was just wondering, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have not had any problems, but yeah, it could, your best bet is to uninstall it. And it goes back to where it was before. and then just wait for the next update, or which could either be a fix to it or it can be just an update with it fixed in that. Then if you do that and you still have a problem, then you might need to see what's causing it and see if it's something on your system for whatever reason is a setting or something's not functioning properly or figure out what the problem is. Yeah, and sometimes you just try it a little bit later and it works. You know, sometimes when you go to install it says it failed installing, and I don't think that's what you're referring to, right?
That was what I was referring to.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if it doesn't install, you know, it could be when you downloaded it, you didn't get a good download. Could be you're running something, so the next time you reboot, you can try it again. Try it a couple of days later, and if that doesn't work, then just wait till the next one. Yes, I agree.
But I definitely wouldn't go and reinstall Windows or do anything like that to fix that. That was what I was getting.
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially, you know, those updates are a lot of times all they are some bug fixes, and it might have introduced a new bug, or it might show where there was another bug that they didn't catch, and then it shows up on your machine and maybe not on others. So yeah, I totally agree. I would just leave it alone. If it's one of the major ones, then you know, if it's the 23H2, then you might want to think about wait for a while to see if other people are having the same issues. But if not, then you may have a problem.
I would agree.
All right. The next article, Master VLC. And VLC, let me bring in the article up and make it bigger here. If you don't use VLC, I'm surprised because most of us do, I think. At least I've been using it for years. And I don't know why it's not remembering, but VLC is undoubtedly the best media player out there, but the ignorance of many users in learning it properly holds them back from utilizing the advanced features that VLC offers. So VLC that I use for media, and I use Irfan View to look at pictures, are two external programs that I always have on my PC. And so, according to the writer of this article, I used to be like them, ignoring the need to give me time to learn properly. But since I did, to be honest, it's become hard to imagine a day without this feature while using VLC. And so there's several things that you can, all the steps are featured in this article, tips and tricks for learning VLC media player. The difficulty level is low. It doesn't require root or sudo privileges. It's compatible to Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Their prerequisites is the VLC media player, and internet is required, kind of. So let's look at tips and tricks for media player, VLC media player. I assume you already have VLC player installed on your system, and this article will not cover commonly known features such as displaying subtitles, adjusting volume, and others. Instead, the author is attempting to share some hidden gems of VLC. So play video frame by frame. This method allows you to play any video frame by frame, proving particularly useful in situations where a specific scene within the time frame is shortened and a fast forward to divert users' attention as commonly observed in movie trailers. So to catch a glimpse of those shortened and fast forwarded scenes, use the default keyboard key E and depress it continuously to move to the next frame rapidly. To exit from the frame by frame situation, you can press the space key to resume your video to normal playback speed. As mentioned earlier, the default shortcut to perform this action is E. However, if you wish to change it to a specific key, navigate to Tools, Preferences, or Control P, and then Hotkeys, and search for the next frame. Adjust playback speeds. If the playback is too fast or too slow, you can slow it down or you can make it faster. And it tells you how to do that. Toggle between the original and scaled to screen sizes. When you watch a particular video on VLC, despite the default resolution, it typically auto scales to your screen to provide a better experience. However, if the quality of the video is poor because it's making it too big, this default auto scaling feature can be quite annoying, and you may prefer to watch it in its original size. In that case, you can press the default shortcut O to small o to toggle between the scaled to screen and the original sizes to watch that particular video recording to your preference. And so you can see here, scale to screen and then immediate. It looks the same to me on here, but I'm not sure if in the article they're different. I don't recommend tweaking the default shortcut key, but if you can't resist, navigate again how to do it. Add local subtitle or download it from the internet. You can do that. So there's a lot of things you can do with VLC. Cycle and reverse cycle between multiple subtitles. Adjust audio delay to a video with improper alignment, kind of like what's happening to me on Zoom. Capture a snapshot of a particular scene. Sometimes you're watching a video and you want to share something in it, but you don't want to share the whole video. All you need is that one screen capture. Well, the importance of this method varies among individuals as capturing a specific scene from a video, but it can be accomplished by either using the default feature of your system, in other words, a screenshot, or the built-in feature in VLC. And to capture a snapshot of a specific scene using the default VLC feature, just press the default shortcut key, Shift S. I haven't provided and do not recommend you change the default shortcut key. It's much easier to memorize than the other shortcut keys. Okay. And alternatively, you can head to the View and enable Advanced Control options. This will add a new panel above the progress bar from which you can click the camera icon to capture that particular scene snapshot. So if you're watching a video using VLC, you don't have to edit the video. You can capture a particular part of a scene directly in VLC. So you don't have to do a lot of video editing. And then create a shortcut, shorts or clips from the full video, either the shorts for Google, YouTube, or TikTok, or any of those. You can create shorts out of a video. And you can add bookmarks to multiple timestamps for easy revisiting. So there's a lot of things you can do with VLC. You can actually set up a playlist. And let's see what else they say. You can edit bookmarks. You can save the playlist to a file. So if you're not using VLC, try it, download it, it's free. And then go to this article and try some of the things it suggests you can do with it as well. But it's great for just playing back videos. And I do that all the time using VLC. Let's stop the share for a moment. How many of you use VLC? Just kind of nod your head if you got the picture open. If you don't have your picture up there, just nod your head. We'll see the the Windows shake. You can see that most of the people are using their pictures in the meeting are using VLC. Steve, you had your hand up?
Yeah, that was just to signify that, yeah, I'm using
Okay.
VLC. But there's a couple other shortcut ones that they didn't mention. If you want to advance a little bit ahead, you can use the left or the right arrow to go forward and the left arrow to go back. And then if you want to go forward a little bit more than that, you can use Control and the arrow keys to go forward and back, which is a lot more convenient than trying to scroll the taskbar or the time bar.
You know, and I don't even remember what the default video browser is in your in Windows. They've changed it so many times, and I haven't paid attention to it because I use VLC all the time, and I have for years. Somebody else had their hand up, and then it went away. Maybe we answered whatever they were going to ask.
Yeah, it also
Tony,
works. It works quite well for high resolution audio as well. So if you've
Okay.
got some surround sound 24-bit audio files, it'll play those as well.
No, it's good to know. Good, thank you. I didn't know that. All right, anybody else? Any comments, questions? Actually, we're down to the end of our time, and let me just go back to the screen just a moment. And let's see, screen share. Yeah, we didn't get to many things, did we? But as usual, I think you got something out of the meeting, hopefully. Oh yeah, there's a lot of items we haven't covered yet. Let's go back here. Let's see, how far did we get? Right here. We didn't even get halfway down the list. So you can do that on your own. And perhaps if there's any of these that you would like me to cover next month, I'd be glad to. Just shoot me a note and I'll put them back on the list for next month. I know there was some people had some questions about PWAs and how to troubleshoot your internet connection. In other words, some of the things that aren't really Windows related, but general computer things that some people wanted. And then I was going to talk about TikTok. I am doing a video for Tech for Seniors for tomorrow on TikTok. And so make sure you tune in to Tech for Senior tomorrow. And let's see, I want to close the browser out.
Yeah, Hewie,
Final questions. Bill?
I was going to say is that it's media player back again in Windows 10 and 11, and then their editor is called Clipchamp.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
the
new
video editor. Yes.
Yeah.
Clipchamp is powerful and it is good. The media player, I would say VLC is better, but I haven't used the media player in so long, I don't know what it has and doesn't have. All right. This has been.
I have
yes.
one question. Would
Sure.
you repeat the URL for the files, these files?
Yeah, they're always up there. And right after I get out of this, I'll show you how you can find them. But this has been the Central Florida Computer Society and Sarasota Technology User Group, WinSIG or Windows SIG, for Sunday, January 14th, 2024. Remember, the February meeting will be on February 18th. And in just a moment, I'll turn it over to Stan